I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to try to rap. I'm going to try to reach you guys. See if you can see where I'm at. I used to be your age, if you can believe that. I was crazy as a loon. I didn't know where my head was at. It took me a while to figure things out, to come around to understand the power of being calm and at peace without anger, and to stand up for where I stand. So I came back, decided to try and reach that younger mind and heart and spirit that wants to fly and be free and yet doesn't have a clue how to do it. So this session was really cool. I had a lot of fun, and I'm really glad to see that most everyone appeared to like what we had done. I look forward to the next coming session, and hopefully it won't be my last. So I'll see you guys soon, and here's what the class
One of the things that we
had
did
to say
is we
about
went
the
to the
past.
mall and they shopped for new clothes, and then we went to a thrift store to compare value.
It was a really good field trip because we got to select what we wanted to, record, like the prices of the clothing, where they're from. It was, our choice. It wasn't, oh, you got to go here, you got to do this, you got to do that. It was, freedom.
And I already typically shop at the thrift store, but it was just kind of nice to see that you can keep quality.
So I never realized how cheap a thrift shop was compared to a retail. So I definitely learned you can save a ton more money by shopping at a thrift shop rather than buying everything brand new.
And the thrift store, it was fun, but kind of confused me because the tags, and I wasn't sure which ones were like 99 cents and which weren't.
I think the experience at the thrift store was, I think it was interesting. I got an article of clothing that I really haven't used at all.
I like the thrift store one because the stuff was cheap and they had a lot of variety of stuff.
You wouldn't think some of the places that you took us to would really have that math would have such a large part of.
And then we learned about different prices and loans that you would have to take out and how much you would be and how it's better, most likely to get a used car than a brand new one. And
When I walked in yesterday, I noticed you feel welcomed. It's a really nice experience. The staff is really nice. It really makes you feel welcomed at home. There's a lot of peace in there, a lot of lounging. They got their own little cafe, which is really nice and clean. It doesn't feel like you're walking into a dealership. The staff's really good at not coming up to you and pressuring you to buy a car or, asking you if you're interested or if you want to look. I mean, usually, their number one objective is to get you to buy a car, and they're not pushy.
I picked a Ford Fusion Hybrid, 2013 Ford Fusion Hybrid. But we had to use this equation to work out what our monthly payment would be for the car based on the interest and the duration.
The insurance field trip taught me a lot of stuff I didn't know. So now if I were to go and get a car, I feel like I know a lot more.
I have to say that the insurance field trip, I learned a lot. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be knowing what I got to do if I ever want to get insurance for my car.
Experience on the insurance field trip was great. I got to learn why male rates are higher than female rates, and why insurance is so expensive here in Tulsa, and it can change based on your zip code. I liked this class a lot because math has never been one of my favorite classes, and I really enjoyed to come at it from a different angle and look at it as something that was actually practical and more useful.
As far as the conference room goes, I feel like we learned quite a bit about exactly what to look for and do's and don'ts and your cons that you need to stay away from.
The question was, what do you like more, Coke or Pepsi? I chose Pepsi. And why? It's because this is the age-old question, and it matters whether people like Coke or Pepsi more. Whether you're a Pepsi person or a Coke person. It determines a lot of characteristics of the human psyche.
I'd have to say that my favorite poll question was, what would be the best source for zombies information? Because it was just a fun topic to talk about. Not many teachers would really use that as a lesson.
My favorite poll question was the ones about if it was legal or not. It was just funny to me.
The one about the zombies and how fast they would probably take over like cities like Dubai or New York. The reason why that's my favorite is because of the fact that I'm a big, huge zombie fan, and what I really like about this class is that a lot of the questions, he purposely came up with ones that relate to the students.
Favorite poll question was the one with the rice because it kind of made you think. And it was kind of deceiving because sometimes your mind just goes for the larger numbers.
This Algebra 2 class was interesting. My favorite poll question that we did was the zombie apocalypse one. We had to, how long it would take for a zombie to take over our city.
Favorite Lumosity task was finding out which shape follows the rule. And basically you just say like if it's like a square, do squares follow the rule? And the rule will sometimes change where squares won't follow it, but triangles will and whatnot.
I think my favorite Lumosity task was the bird's eye. When you have to seek out the bird and then give a number or a letter afterwards, because eventually, once you get to a higher level, it gets harder and harder and harder, and it's fun to be able to sit there and catch every one.
My favorite Lumosity one was the one with the directions of the birds.
One of my favorite things about Lumosity would have to be the koi fish pond, because you have to remember to feed all the fish but not overfeed them.
Find the bird in the picture, but you also have to remember the number that pops up on the screen. So you're kind of double tasking, and I like it because it's one of the harder ones. But
I really do like this class a lot. I've always had trouble with math and stuff like that, but I'm starting to realize why I need it